Hello everyone, welcome to Coding Digest. In our previous session, we discussed about OOPS concept in Java. I strongly recommend that you go through that video, definitely. Today we are going to deep dive more into logic, and we will discuss about various control statements and loops, right? So let's get started with control statements, right? So what are the control statements? Control statements, let's suppose just a bit. What are the control statement, right? Control statement. What are the control statements? So control statements are the statements that controls the flow of a program. Okay, the flow of a program, like your program is starting here, suppose somewhere here, starting, okay, and then if there is a condition, right? If this condition satisfied, okay, suppose this is a condition, okay, if this condition satisfied, yes, if yes, and if no, right? If no, so this is the kind of conditions we generally introduce in our programming, right? So suppose if this condition satisfied, okay, if this, suppose if string name equal to Suam, if it is true, then what will happen? It will print something, right? It will print here something. And if it is false, if it is not the string name is not Suam, then probably it will print that the name is wrong, correct? So this is called the control statement, okay? It is very, very important in terms of programming and logic building, right? So this is called the control statement. Okay, so we have couple of control statements here we are going to discuss. First is if, okay, if else, okay, if else. Second is switch case. We'll discuss this switch case. Here we'll again we discussed about tertiary operator, right, in our operator session, correct? So here I am going to discuss about tertiary operator. Okay, so one more thing is tertiary operator. Though it is not a control statement, we cannot say directly that the tertiary operator is a control statement, but it behaves like a control statement. We'll show how it works, right? So okay, so let's get started with first thing, if. Okay, so suppose I have one string called string, okay, string name. Okay, I have one string called string name. String name is Suvam, VAM. Okay, I have declared this string. Now my condition is if name equal to Suvam, right? sysout means system dot out dot println. Okay, sysout, in short, sysout name is correct. Name is correct, right? If name is correct, if name is Suam, then it will print name is correct. Now if the name is not Suam, something else, what will happen? Then we will cover it in else part. Else rather in case of other than Suam, right? Else will print something, sys out other name, right? So this acts as a kind of control statement, because it is controlling the programming flow. So if name is Suam, if this condition satisfied, then it will print something. If it is not satisfied, then it will print something, right? So to more extend this thing, we can have if suppose if there is a condition, if it is true, then it will print something, right? If not, then we can have another condition, else if. Okay, this is condition 1, this is condition 2. Okay, so again we'll give another condition, and I will check actually another condition if this condition satisfied. If C1 is satisfied, then it's okay, it will print here something here. If C1 is not satisfied, then it will come to else if part. Okay, else if, just if this happens, else if this happens, right? If C1 is not satisfied, it will check for else if, first else if C2. If C2 is satisfied, then we'll print something here, right? Now again we can have n number of else if. Okay, suppose this is C3, again we can have, and if all these conditions are not satisfied, C1, C2, C3 are not satisfied, then we can have a default else statement, right? Else condition, Cn. After all this if else else if statements, we can have one else part, where if all the conditions are not met, then this else part will it will be executed, right? The condition is all the conditions are failed, right? So all the conditions means C1 to Cn. Suppose there are n number of conditions basically, right? If all the n number of conditions are not met, then else part will be executed. Now else part will be executed and we will have some message or some operations, right? This is how the if statement works. Okay, now next is we are having switch case statement basically. Okay, so like if you can see if there are more than two conditions, right? The coding, the structure of if statements are very large. To further to get it a smaller thing, right? To get a smaller coding size or line of coding, we can have one switch case statement. Okay, so hope this if else statements are clear, right? The same concept will go to switch case statement. So what is switch case statement? Switch case statement is basically we'll have a condition, right? Or we'll have some data inside switch. condition data. Suppose switch data, suppose this is day. Okay, this is day. So this is switch. Now the case starts the first day of the week. Suppose first day of the week, case 1. Okay, like that, case 1. If some number, suppose this is int maybe we can say this day 1 or day, int day. Okay, if day is 1, then probably here print out, or rather sys out, so first day is Monday, right? Monday. Anyway, we will see it. Okay, we'll see here, like just let me open so how switch case works, right? Suppose switch, this is my day. Okay, here this switch statement getting started. Okay, and our conditions are mentioned in case format. Okay, case 1, if the case, I mean it's a first day, then we'll print sys out Monday, right? Sys out Monday, and then it's a must break statement. Okay, why break statement? Because it will come out from these switch case statements, all the switch case blocks. Okay, if this particular condition met, then it will come out from these particular switch case blocks. Okay, then if it is same way, if it is case 2, right? Suppose sys out Tuesday. Same way, we have to put one break. Break means it will break the current execution. Okay, current loop, it could be loop, it could be condition, anything. Okay, just the current statements or current blocks, it will break and come out from that particular block. Okay, suppose here this condition case 2 is made. Okay, day equal to 2 is made, and then this after printing this Tuesday, we will break, we will come out from this particular switch case block. Okay, the whole switch case block, right? And next is, suppose same way, case 3, we will have sys out statement as Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then break. Okay, so if neither of these conditions are met, suppose day is 1, not 1, not 2, not 3, okay, then we'll have one default statement, default. So what will do this default block? Default block will print something, whatever, or do something, none of the date or day matches. Okay, if none of the conditions are met, then this default statement will execute. This default statement will execute, right? Okay, fine. Now suppose I am putting here day equal to let's say 3, right? Suppose this is day equal to 3, okay, and this is int. Then what it will check here, the whole control will check whether this 3 is there in this conditions or not. See here, case 3 is there. Day equal to 3 means case 3. Case 3 is already there, so it will print Wednesday. Okay, and break the statement, break the or come out from this whole switch case blocks. Okay, and it will do the next lines and all. Okay, so if int day equal to, let's say, 5, okay, then 5 is not a condition I have written in these cases, right? 5 is not the case here. 1, 2, 3, up to 3 I have written. So what it will do, when the control will find that the value of day is 5, then and none of the conditions are met, then it will come to default. Okay, and it will print none of the day matches. None of the day matches. Understood what is switch case and default? Okay, fine. I'll show you how we are applying in real world or in coding, right? Next thing what we can do is a very important thing, or basically we use it to optimize codes, right? We can use tertiary operator. Okay, suppose, just a minute. So tertiary operator, to make you understand the concept of tertiary operator, let's go with a condition, right? Suppose there is a variable called string, right? Simple string name. Okay, now the condition is if and let's assign one condition here. Suppose int a equal to 8. Okay, now if a is less than 5, name equal to Subham. Okay, else there will be else part, right? If it is not less than 5 or it will be greater than 5, then it will print or the name will be assigned with my surname, maybe, right? So how many numbers of lines we are using here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So it can be optimized, the code, the whole number of codes can be optimized in basically 3 lines, right? So how it works? So here we can say name equal to right, inside bracket, what we can do, we can set a condition. What is this condition? A is less than 5. Okay, so A is less than 5. A is less than 5. Now we are checking this condition met or not. What is the sign for that? This exclamatory sign is the checking part. Okay, now the condition 1, if condition this if condition met, then what will happen? Name equal to Suvam. So what we'll do, it's simply Suvam. Okay, if it is not met, if this particular condition is not met, what will happen? We'll print or we'll assign Banerjee to this particular name variable, right? This is how tertiary operator works. So what we are doing here, we are basically checking this condition, right? We are basically checking this condition. Sorry. We are basically checking one condition. Condition, if this particular condition met, it is like you are asking if this condition true or not. Okay, if this condition true, then action 1. If not, right, if not, then action 2. This is how the operator, I mean tertiary operator, works in Java. And this is basically checking the conditions, okay, conditional statements. So that is why I covered here in conditional statement. I told you in that operator video only that I'm going to cover this tertiary operator in detail in when we are going to cover the statements, if statements, else statements, switch case things, right? So this is how this operator works. Now the logical or what I say, the logical pathway we can understand using if, else, switch case things, right? Now what if I have let's say I want to print 1 to 100, right? I want to print. So how to print? It's simple. Sysout 1, correct? Sysout 1, and then sysout 2, sysout 3, and so on. So just imagine if I am I want to print 1 to 100, right? Then I have to write 100 lines of code, or I have to copy paste these 100 lines of codes and edit, correct? That is very much tiring, and the code we will write will not be so much what I can say, it's not readable basically. Sys out, it's not very good practice. So what we can do, we can simply make use of loops. Loops means that can do some repetitive work. Okay, that can do, a loop can do a repetitive work. Like suppose the same example, let's start with for loop. Basically for loop, for loop. So what is the structure? This is index based for loop, by the way. Okay, first thing is index based for loop. So this is the initialization. Okay, int a equal to 0. Okay, a is less than equal to 100, a plus plus. So what is this? Int a. This is the initialization of the variable. Okay, int a equal to 0. Then we are checking the condition. If a is less than equal to 100, how many times it will this for loop will work? Until the a equal to 100. Right? So the condition will be a is less than equal to 100, and then increment, because we have to ultimately increment the number, right? Otherwise same number will print again and again. So I have to first 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. So we have to increment the number. So we have seen in our maybe operator class or operator session that plus will increment a variable or int variable by 1, right? So this is the structure of for loop. Now if we put a sys out statement, sysout simply a, and you are done. It will print 0 to 100 without stop. It will print 0 to 100. Once 100 is reached, a equal to 100, then it will stop. Okay, the last number will be 100, because our condition is, just remember this, just focus on this condition. The condition is a less than equal to 100. So a will increment it until a equal to 100. Okay, so this is how this for loop works. Okay, now next thing is our next loop is while loop. Let me delete it, and we'll discuss about while loop. What is while loop? Same thing, same as for loop. What is the use? It's doing same repetitive work. Now in for loop, what we did, we have initialized the variable here, we have checked the condition here, and we have incremented here. In while loop, we will check the condition here. This is the condition. Okay, we'll initialize the variable outside the loop. Suppose int a equal to 1, right? We'll check, this is the initialization, this is the condition checking. Okay, and inside the loop we'll increment it, and inside that body we can put a sysout statement of a. Okay, while loop means it is checking while condition. What is the condition? Condition is a is less than equal to 100. When the a value, the value of a is less than or equal to 100, it will print a and then further increment it. When it is 1, then it will print 1. When it is 2, right, it will check the condition. If 2 is less than equal to 100, yes, then it will print 2 and then increment. So the value of the 2 is now 3. Right, now 3 is less than equal to 100, yes, so it will print 3 here, correct? So and so on up to 100. This is how while loop works. This is how while loop works. Now next thing, do while. The structure of do while is basically do. Okay, do means do something, do these things. In while loop, if you remember, we are checking this condition here at the top or at the starting of this loop. We were checking the condition, right, and we were incrementing this inside the loop, right? In do while, first this body will be executed, right? This body will be executed, then condition will be checking. So this is condition. So whether in do while loop, whether this particular condition met or not, initially at least this do while loop will execute at least once, because the condition checking is here. But in case of while, suppose my a value is 100, initial value is 101, so 101 is less than equal to 100. This is a wrong statement, a wrong condition. That is why this condition is not met. So this while loop will not execute at least once, okay, even once, right? But in do while loop, this body will execute at least once, then this condition will be executed or this condition will be checked. This is how do while loop works. Clear? Now let's go to code our, okay. Okay, fine. So let me create another class, control statements .java. First we'll see how control statements work. Suppose I have one variable called string name, okay, string name. Now let's initialize this name equal to maybe so, okay. Now the condition will check this name, okay, using the conditional statements. So if, what will be inside if name equal to so on, right? If name equal to so on, then sys out the name is correct, then else sys out the name is not correct, right? So what we have to do here, we have to declare a main method, right? Inside main method, just remember, you have to write all this thing inside a method, whether it is main method or it could be any other methods, right? Okay, we will discuss the static keyword later, but for now we cannot use any static variable, a non-static variable inside a static method. Okay, sorry, right? We will discuss the static, because static keyword is very important. Okay, but for now, just I am not writing any other methods. I am just writing in main method, right? So that is why static is necessary right now. But static has a greater influence in Java programming, basically. So if we run this program, we'll get, see, the name is correct. Suppose the name is Subham Banerjee, let's say. Okay, and if we run again, see, the name is not correct, because we are checking what name is Subham or not, right? But the name is actually Subham Banerjee, right? So this else part is getting executed. We can further do one thing. We can put else if, right? I showed you, right? So else if what will be in else if? Else if means checking another condition, name equal to Banerjee. Then sys out, this is my surname, right? So we can also check multiple conditions using multiple if, else if, and else. If all these conditions are false, like in this case only, the name is Subham Banerjee, but we are checking for if the name is Subham or if the name is Banerjee, right? So all these conditions are false, then this particular else block will be executed and the name is not correct will be printed. Now suppose in the name, if I put only Banerjee, then what it will check? It will first check here, if name is Subham, no, it's not wrong, it's not correct. So it will go to else if part, next block. Else if name is Banerjee, so this is kind of Banerjee is matching, this condition is satisfying, so this message will be printed. So if we run, so see, this is my surname is getting printed. This is how if else statement works. Okay, so in our previous thing, right, previous loop, I mean not loop, previous statement, if name equal to Subham, then print the name is correct, else system.out.println the name is not correct. Okay, now this is again we are consuming 1 2 3 4 lines. Okay, 4 lines. So instead of that, we can do it like this. suppose there is a variable static string result, okay, and the result equal to first, what is the condition? The condition is name equal to so on, right? If the condition is true, it is checking the condition. If the condition is true, then what? Then we'll sys out, or rather we'll do this, the name is correct, okay. If it is false, then the name is not correct, right? This is the one-liner solution. Now if we print sys out result, what it will do? See, the name is not correct because the name is basically Banerjee, but I am checking for our condition is name equal to Suam. So these kind of statement blocks or if blocks can be further optimized by using tertiary operators, okay. Okay, fine. Hope you are understanding this. If not, please let me know in comment. Okay, now next thing is we'll learn about loops. We have learned three things: for loop, while loop, and do while loop, right? For loop, while loop, and do while loop. Why we'll use loops? To do some repetitive work, okay, to control the number of lines in the program, to maintain the readability of the program, right? If a particular method or particular class is of a very large amount of lines, right, it will be cumbersome thing to read all the lines and understanding all the lines, right? So we have to optimize the code always. So we have to write the simple code as well as we have to write the optimized code, maintaining all the grammars of Java language, okay. That is how you can be a good programmer. You can be a good technical person in any field, okay. Now let's start for loops or loops basically. So let me create another class here, loops cute.java, okay. Now let me do, let me write a public static void main here. Now I have to print, suppose 1 to 100. So there are certain things, right? Sys out statement, if I put 1, okay, and then again like that, okay. So suppose this is 2, this is 3, right? 1 2 3 and so on up to 100, but this is not the easy solution, okay. So for that we can make use of a loop. So what is the first loop? It's for loop, okay, for loop. So what is the first statement here? It's initialization. First statement is initialization. First statement is initialization. Init. Okay, the first statement is init. So suppose int I equal to 0, or let's start with 1, right? This is how we initialize any variable, right? Now checking the condition. What is the condition here? I is less than equal to 100, because we have to print the numbers up to 100, then I plus plus, correct? And that's it. I mean, nothing else is required. Sys out I. Okay, and if we run, see, 1 to 100. So it started from 1 and ends at 100, because the condition we have selected is I is less than equal to 100 and I plus plus. Understood? This is how this for loop works. By the way, this is an index based for loop. Okay, this is index based for loop. Index based for loop. Okay, there is another for loop called for each loop. Okay, for each loop. For each loop. For that, actually we need some concept of arrays, list things. So we'll do it later, but for now let's suppose there is an array. Okay, so what is array? Array is basically stores, or this data structure, it stores multiple values at a time. Okay, array is like this. If you can see, so it actually so array is like this, a data structure. Okay, there is a series of data. Okay, there is a series of data. Okay, so this is the index 0, this is the index 1, this is the index 2, and so on up to index n, right? So just consider this as bucket. Okay, so in 0th bucket there is a number called 1, in first bucket there is a number called 2, second bucket 3, fourth bracket, a third bracket it's 4 and 5, and so on. Okay, this is the array basically. Okay, array. How to declare this array? By the way, array is also a data type. How to declare array? So suppose there is an array of integer. Okay, array of integers. So first int, then the square brackets and error equal to, in the bracket will mention the values 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on. Okay, this is how we declare array. We'll cover this array again after this session, or maybe next session, because if you don't know the concept of loops, then we cannot manipulate arrays. Okay, or we cannot fetch all the values of arrays. So I decided that we'll first cover this loop concepts and then we'll cover array, by the way. Okay, now this is we have an array of integers which is holding multiple values, multiple integers 1 to 9. That's it, easy. Okay, now how for each loop works. Again, for, then int, suppose a colon arr, sys out a. Okay, sys out a. So what we are doing, int a means what is the type of this particular array, or the content of this array, it's integer, right? So we are assigning this value as a, right? Now what are the values from arr, array. Okay, so for each element of this particular array, we will execute this particular loop and print it here, right? Easy. So let me comment this, run, see, it's 1 2 3 4 5 6, all these things are basically getting printed. Just don't get confused with this t, because it is loops tut, that t is here. Don't get confused, because I was confused with this t, by the way. Okay, so this is how this for each loop works. The benefit of for each loop, there is a error, I will discuss it later. There is an error called array out of bound, okay, or array index out of bound. Okay, that kind of things can be avoided using for each loop. Okay, what is the array index out of bound? Suppose there is a let me write one index based for loop here, right? For int I, then the condition I is less than arr dot length. Whatever the array length, right? It should be, I should be less than that. Then I plus plus. And what we have to print? Sys out arr inside bracket I, because this is a index based. Okay, why I is giving, okay, this is not initialized 0. This is an index, that is why it starts with 0. Okay, if we run, then see 1 2 3 4 up to 9. Now by mistake, if we do something less than equal to arr length, right? So what is the length here? Length is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. 9 is the length. But what is the index value? Index value is 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, 8th index, till 8th index we have value, right? But here we will get a 9th index which is not there in this particular array. So what error message it will throw? It will see this array index out of bound exception, index 9, because there is nothing in index 9. There is nothing in index 9. So that is array index out of bound. This kind of issues or these kind of things can be avoided by using this for each loop. because in this particular thing, whatever may be the length, whatever may be the index values, because this is not index based loop, it is for each loop, for each and every element this particular for loop is getting executed, correct? So this index out of array index out of bound exception can be avoided by using for each loop. Next thing is while loop. Let's say using this array only, let me check that. Sorry. So what is the structure? First while, right? Before while there should be one what? There should be one index kind of thing. So int a equal to 1, or not 1 actually, a equal to 0. Now while this is the initialization, like here I equal to 0, we are initializing the variable a equal to 0. Okay, initialization of the variable. Now while a is less than, same thing, a is less than arr dot length, arr dot length, and the incremental will be a plus plus, but before that we have to do some operation here. So what is the operation? Let's say sys out a, right? Sys out a. Now what will how it will execute? So initial value of a is 0, correct? While a is less than 0 is less than 8, or rather 9, so it will print 0 here. A plus plus means 1. Again 1 is less than 9, so it will print 2. 1. Okay, and then again it will increment to 2, and then again 2 is less than 9, that is why it will print 2, and then again increment. So let me run this program or run this loop. See, 0 to 8 it is getting printed, 0 to 8. Okay, because a is the index. Okay, if we print arr of a, then it will print from 1 to 9. See, 1 to 9 it is getting printed. Clear? Hope it is hope this while loop is clear. It's easy basically. Now next thing is do while loop. Again we have to initialize some variable here. Now first thing is do, and then at the last we will check the condition while. What is the condition here? The condition is a is less than arr dot length. Same condition. Now inside this do while loop, do while thing, we have to print sys out arr of a, and then we have to increment the value the same way. Now if we run it, see, the same thing is getting printed, 1 to 9. Now suppose while let me do one thing. what is the specialty about do while loop? Because this particular method body, or not method body, loop body will be executed at least once, because this is first execution first, then checking the condition. Execution first, then checking the condition. So in do while loop, unlike other loops, in do while loop, first it will execute the loop body, then the condition will be checked, or condition will be whether that condition is satisfied or not, right? Suppose let me do some unsatisfied, or let me write some unsatisfied condition. A is greater than ARR length. It's not true basically. So system.out.println ARR A and A++. Let's say if these two statements are getting executed at least once or not. See, 1 is getting printed because A0 is 1. A equal to 0 because we have initialized it with 0. Just a minute. We have initialized with what? 0. And A0 is 1. 0th index is 1. Value is 1. So in do while loop, first this body will get executed, then the condition is getting checked. So that is why at least once this body will be executed. That is not possible in while loop or for loop, right? Let me show you. Right? Suppose purposely I am putting a wrong condition. A is greater than ARR length, right? So this condition is not satisfied. So if I run it, first condition will be checked, so nothing is getting printed. That is why in while loop, first condition will be checked, then the body will be executed. But in do while loop, first body will be executed, then the condition will be checked. This is very important concept. Okay, and very basic interview question also. What is the difference between while and do while loop? Right? So if you are lucky enough and you are getting a very good interviewer, then probably you can get this kind of questions, that what is the difference between while and do while loop. However, the concept is very easy. While loop, first condition is checked. In fact, in any loops, first condition is checked, and then the loop body will get executed. But for only the do while loop, first body will be executed and then the condition will be checked. So in do while loop, the body will get executed at least once, right? That's all I think for this particular session. We have covered all the loops, all the statements and loops, right? Conditional statements and loops. Thanks for watching, and please comment if you are not understanding. Let me know in comment that if you are not understanding any concept. Probably I can take another session on that, right? And again, thanks for watching, and thanks for your time.